of the biggest problems we face at Nostalgic Air Parts are people tampering with the oil that comes in our compressors. Every compressor we ship comes pre-oiled for our aftermarket air conditioning systems. Unless you have rear AC in your vehicle, front and rear, you don't need to mess with the oil that comes in our compressors. If someone did mess with the oil, or if you want to change the oil in your compressor, I'm going to demonstrate how to do it properly so you don't overfill the compressor or the AC system with oil. To begin, if you have a brand new compressor, you want to remove the caps on the rear head. If you have a used compressor, you can skip this step, unless it has caps on it. Once you get your caps off, you want to remove the oil plug that's on the compressor. The oil plug's on the top dead center of the compressor. Usually it's a 3/4 or 11/16 inch socket. Just zip it off. There's going to be an O-ring that's either sits on the plug or stays in the body of the compressor. I recommend replacing it. The correct O-ring size is what we call a switch O-ring, but you can also use a number 6 O-ring for this. The O-ring just sits right on the threads of the plug. Once you have your oil plug out and your caps off, you can begin draining the compressor. When we drain a compressor, we take a barbecue grill and set it over a bucket. Just take your compressor, flip it upside down, and let it drain. As you can see, my compressor won't fit down through the barbecue grill. So what you want to do is slide it over so it sits level. If you have a compressor with rear fittings on the back that point straight out here, set it up first and then drain. If you have a brand new compressor, you're going to want to let it drain for about 15 to 25 minutes, maybe even longer if you want. About every 5 minutes you want to come. You don't want to spin the pulley, you want to spin your hub. What you want to do is you want to turn the inside of the compressor so any oil that's sitting in a cavity can get out. So every 5 minutes just spin the front of the compressor so it'll change the inside and drain the rest of the oil. For any compressor you're draining, you want to do this. If you have a used compressor, you may not have to drain it as long. You just got to watch how much comes out of the plug. This is still pouring out pretty good. We've been doing it for 30 seconds. But you want to get all the oil out. You don't want to mix oil. This compressor has PAG 46 in it. That's what we put in every one of our compressors. We've been doing it for 10 years now. We've never had a problem, so we stick with it. Some compressors with the R12 had mineral oil. If you have mineral oil, you don't want to mix it with PAG. If you mix oil, like if I put mineral oil in this compressor that has PAG, there's always going to be a film residue of oil on all of the internal parts. And those two oils will mix and it could coagulate. If you have mineral and you want to go to R134A, switch to ester oil. That's a great oil for an R12 to R134A conversion if you're using an old compressor and you can't get all the oil out. We're going to pretend this is drained to shorten this video. I'll show you how to put it back together. Once you have it all drained out, you don't want to take your paper towel and wipe the oil off around the oil drain area. Make sure it's clean. You don't want to work with a dirty compressor. Go ahead and reinstall your rear caps. That way you don't forget to do it later. We use a measuring bottle that has units of measurement on it. You want to put 6 ounces of oil into the body of this compressor. You just want to sit there and do it. I'm not going to do it because it takes a few minutes and I don't want to keep you guys watching a video all day. So I'm going to put a little bit in and then I'm going to explain. Once you get the compressor oil in, if I turn this hub, I'm going to produce pressure inside the compressor. It's okay to do that because then you have oil in the back head of the compressor. But you have to remember, if you do that, when you take these caps off, they're going to go psh. So you don't want to spray oil all over the car. So take the caps off slowly. Once you have your compressor filled with oil, you want to take a torque wrench and torque wrench the oil fill plug. It's going to get torqued to 11 to 14 foot-pounds of torque. You can use any torque wrench. As you can see, I'm using a real old school torque wrench. If you don't have any way to hold it, like I'm having trouble right now, use a vise or get somebody with big muscles to help you. So remember, 11 to 14 foot-pounds out of the top, and you don't have to put oil anywhere else in the system. The way this compressor works, it's a piston compressor. A lot of people say it's a rotary, but it's not. It's a piston. And we have other videos showing what the pistons look like and such, so please check those out. The way it works is there's 6 ounces of oil in here, which is enough oil for our whole system. Like I said in the beginning, unless you have front and rear air. You just have a standard nostalgic air parts aftermarket system. There's enough oil in here for everything. You don't need to add more oil. The reason we tell you guys don't add dye or leak detectants or sealers is because they contain oil. And when you add oil to a system, it can overwhelm the refrigerant and not let the system perform properly. For instance, with 6 ounces of oil in this system and this compressor turning at 5,000 RPM, you're going to have 1.2 to 1.5 ounces of oil constantly in the body of this compressor. The engineers who designed this are intelligent guys, and they have it figured out to where it's going to operate optimally at 6 ounces. If you take a leak sealant when you're putting your system together and you add it and say it has 2 to 4 ounces, now we just increase the oil. If our system has 1.5 pounds of Freon and 6 ounces of oil, and then you go and add another 4 ounces of oil, now we just deviated the refrigerant. What can happen is when the refrigerant goes from a vapor to a liquid and back and forth in the system as it does, the oil could actually overwhelm the Freon, not letting it get to the coolness in the evaporator that it could. If it's not getting as cold in the evaporator, your pressures will look perfect, but it's just not going to work properly. So you don't want to change anything. Follow the instructions. If it says don't add oil and your mechanic says, well, I need to add oil, tell them no, don't. It's not going to do any good. By adding oil is not any good. And the best analogy I can give you, you have 6 ounces of coffee that came with 2 ounces of creamer, but you want more creamer, so you put 10 more ounces in it. You don't have coffee anymore. You're not going to have anything. You're just going to have a pile of mess. So you don't want to add more than what we recommend. And it's for your own good, because when the system's not working and you call us and we say, well, did you add oil? And you tell us no, we won't be able to figure it out. We can't fix human error. And when you throw us more variables, it makes it very difficult to make you guys cold. Our end goal is to make you happy and make you cold. So please don't add more oil than necessary in these compressors. If you have any questions, you know you can call us at any time or email us, and we'll be happy to help you with anything. And I appreciate you watching our videos, and I hope you have a great day.